because I did a couple of, don't do that, don't do that. Hello, if you're new here, my name is Christina, aka Northwest Reader, and this is my weekly wrap-up. I don't even know how many books I finished. I actually finished a decent amount of books this past week. Who is this girl? I don't know. So this is going to be my wrap-up, my weekly wrap-up for July 5th through the 11th. So the books I actually finished. The first book I finished, it's actually, I think it's considered a novelette, The Nonpracticing Cultist by Scott J. Moses. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was pretty good. I like when stories just, you get thrown into the story. You know, like I also appreciate when you build up in a story, but I really enjoy when you just get thrown in and you just kind of have to get your footing and figure out what's happening and just go with the flow. And that's exactly what this is. It's about this Vietnam vet who is a part of a cult. And that's all I'm going to share because I don't want to give too much away. But it was pretty good. It was super trippy. I enjoyed, I think my favorite part was closer to the end when super weird stuff's happening, like super weird, and you're just trying to figure out what the heck's going on. But it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the ending itself. I loved the little, it was a twist to me, and it was unexpected. And Scott, again, he is such a good writer, and just the stories he comes up with, they're so unique and different. And I'm not the biggest fan of cult books. Like I kind of get bored with them because I feel like they're all the same, but this was definitely different. And I don't want to give anything away, but it had a lot of elements, and it was pretty good. Highly recommend. So the next book I finished was a physical copy, and it was Sabbath of the Fox Devils by Sam Richard. This book, pretty good also. I would say it's a slow build up, slow burn, building up the story, building up the character, stuff like that. A little bit of background on the character. But then the second half, it goes super gory, super crazy. Like, what the heck's going on? It takes place in the 80s, and it's just during this satanic panic. And this little boy watches this cartoon where they do this summoning of the Fox Devils, and he becomes obsessed, and he needs to find this book to conjure up these creatures, and it's just like, what? And there was one scene, it was like people are dying in the scene, but it just made me laugh because of how people were getting killed. It was funny to me. I don't know what that says about me, but I laughed. And it's in my mind. It's vivid in my mind. Yeah. It takes place at a gym. That's all I'm going to say. But a lot of fun. This was fun. And these little Fox Devils make appearance, of course. That's the name of the book. And just how they're described and stuff was not what I was expecting. So when I would read the details about them, I would look at the cover. I'm like, oh, okay. I can, yeah, I see that now. There was a couple of moments where I thought like, what's happening? Like it was an element that was thrown in and just splatter gore everywhere, which I enjoyed. So I was okay with that. But there was some parts where I was wanting a little bit more, like with the little boy and his relationship with his brother. I kind of wanted to know more about the brother. That was the story part of the storyline where I was really attached and fixated to. But it worked though. It worked. But I want to know more of what's going to happen with the story. So, but it's a novella, so I mean technically it's a novella, right? But yes, 4 stars. I liked it. It was fun. So the next book I finished, I pre-ordered it as an ebook a long time ago. I feel like it was a long time ago. I guess it was just only back in October. It's called Elegy for the Undead by Matthew Vesely. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was pretty good. I know I say that about everything, but I think I thought it was going to be more just like a zombie book and that's all it was, but really it's a love story, and I like love stories, so I didn't mind it whatsoever, and it was lovely. It's about these two guys who meet in high school, I believe, and then they lose like contact, and then they get back together, like they get in contact again in college, and then they bloom this relationship, and then like a year after getting married and stuff, then a zombie outbreak happens, and it's so creepy because when you're listening to it, it talks about how the virus spreads and people in quarantine and like people getting scared and freaked out and stuff, and it's so similar to like the pandemic, so it was like kind of creepy. But the zombie scenes, I love the zombie scenes. I feel like there wasn't a ton of zombie scenes. Maybe there were, but I was like wanting more of that. It was pretty good. I thought it was decent. It's a weirdly it's a beautiful love story during a zombie apocalypse, but you follow like their whole relationship. So, see, I went into this not knowing anything about it, but in the description it says though Jude and Lyle are the couple, and Lyle gets infected. And then they come up with the antivirus, and then they give it to him, and it seems to be working, but also he's like deteriorating at the same time, and it's good, and it's like heartbreaking. The ending is so sad, but because you can kind of guess what's gonna happen, but it was so good. It was good. I liked it a lot, and I love the cover. That's what got me to pre-order it in the first place. So yeah, 4 stars. So the next book I read, it's a manga, and I read it on a whim because I see everyone talking about like, oh, they love the series and stuff. It's Blue Flag Volume 1 by Kaito. I gave it 4 stars. I know a lot of people love this, but I don't know if it's because it's like high school and I'm not the biggest fan of like kids in high school, like characters in high school, because of just how immature they can be and stuff. For most of it, I was like, this is a 3-star. I can't, because the main character, he was so aggravating, because it's about him, his kind of sort of popular friend, and this really awkward girl who has a crush on his friend, and he's trying to help her win his friend over. But the whole time, he is such a jerk. Like, he's so mean to the girl. Like, so mean. And maybe it's just the style of, like, I'm not a manga expert by any means. I don't really know anything about the style or, like, cultural context, nothing like that. But it just seems like he's constantly yelling at her or belittling her or making her feel bad. And the whole time she's like apologizing for anything and everything. And it just drove me nuts. I hated reading those scenes. But by the end, they hooked me. And I was like, ah. So I bumped it to a 4 because I liked the ending a lot. And I want to continue. So I checked out all the rest of them from my library. But stinking Libby, you have to read it, the second volume, in the Libby app, and it is such a pain. Oh, I can't even explain the pain to read it in there because it's just like this big, and you're just the rest of them open in my Kindle, so I'm like, oh, it's gonna slow me down on my reading. But the ending is what got me. But other than that, I cannot stand the main character at all. Irritates me to death. But yeah, 4 stars. So the next book, it's a novelette that I read. I saw it on someone like wanted to read it or something on Goodreads, which is like a lot of the books that I end up coming across are on Goodreads. Don't judge me, but I like gross stuff, so I was like, oh, this looks pretty gross. The cover looks gross. It's Filthy Secrets, a novelette by Jonathan Butcher. I didn't even rate it. Ugh. So it's super gross. It's like 38 pages, but oh my god, do a lot of things happen in those 38 pages. It's about this married woman who's kind of bored with her intimate life with her husband, and she does this thing in the beginning that kind of just sparks this kink in her. And I'm not kink shaming or anything, but in the very beginning when she's doing this thing in the bathroom, I was just like, oh, it was so gross. It was so gross and weird. And I was just like, oh, it's in my brain forever. And then it just gets crazier after that, because her kink, I guess, is like having secrets and knowing stuff that no one else does, or do things in secrecy, and it does something for her. Cool on her. But there are moments where it could be problematic for some people, and that's why I was like, I can't rate it. I wouldn't recommend this to anyone unless you are into really weird things and you don't have any triggers whatsoever, because this like hits a lot of them. Luckily it doesn't hit any of my triggers, but there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. And then the ending, the ending was so ridiculous. Like the whole book, the whole novelette is ridiculous. Like I was laughing because of just how weird and just crazy it was. And then the ending, I was like, oh my gosh, this is just so too much. This is too much. Like, just stop. But yeah, I didn't even rate it. That's why, because it's not for everyone. It's not for a lot of people, I would imagine. The author states, like, at the end, like, he wants to continue writing weird stories. He wants to write weird stuff. So here you go. And I knew that going in, kind of, that it was going to be weird. And it was successful. He was successful at what he wanted to do. And he got a reaction from me. I was entertained. So I can't hate on it, but at the same time, I'm not going to like, everyone go read this. You're going to love it. No, don't. So, and then, like, don't judge me for these books. I swear, please don't judge me. So the next book I listened to, because two of my friends from Quarantine and Read, we have a group that we read books together, they were reading this collection, and I was, and it's erotica, so I was like, oh, I want to check it out. And I listened to it, and my word, it's a 4-hour audiobook, but it's a lot of spiciness, may I say. And the title is Your Dad Will Do by Kate Robert. I gave it like 3.5 stars. It, like, from page like 4 to the very end, just spiciness so much. And it was just too much for me. Like, I like spice, sure, but I like some story. And I mean, there was story there, but it was just, we're doing something spicy, spicy. A little bit of talking, spicy. Doing a little talking, spicy. Really spicy. Little kinky spicy. Oh, now we're talking a little bit. Spicy. I love you. Spicy. It was just like that, and it was too much. Like, by halfway through, I was like, okay, I am over these two people getting intimate. Because it was like the same type of intimacy at the same time, you know? Like, it was just like kind of boring. So that's why. And I don't think I'm going to continue with the series. Like, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to listen to this. And no, I'm good. The next book I finished, finally, is Songbirds and Stray Dogs by Meagan Lucas. Oh my god, I gave it 5 stars. Oh, break my heart. Break my heart. Why don't you break my heart? Oh my goodness, I love these characters. This is a very character-driven book, in my opinion. It was, oh my gosh. You follow a young girl who gets pregnant in high school. I mean, not in high school. She gets pregnant, and she's like, I think she's 18. She's really young. And she gets rejected by the baby daddy. She gets kicked out of her house. And it's just her trying to survive. And then she comes across Chuck, who's like this, like, bear. I imagine like this cuddly big guy. He's a really big guy, and then they like their paths cross, and just so much happens. It was good. It was so good. It's a really good character study. Jolene, oh my goodness, I was so attached to her and her story, and with her being pregnant, it just you just get attached, and then you get protective of the characters. And then I love Chuck. He was awesome, and he's raising his nephew Cash, and it's just and I have to say, the like after the halfway point and a little towards the end, it just gets so intense. I was reading it on my phone because I was like, oh, I'll just read a little bit on the back porch while my son was playing in the water, like just all over the place. And I was just like, just reading, like, it was so intense. Like, I was watching my kid, don't worry, but at the same time, I was just like, I gotta finish this. And it was just super intense. And it was like what I was like bracing myself for. It wasn't as bad, but it was still heartbreaking. And then like a little mini reveal of the name of something. I don't want to spoil anything. It just like, you know, like it just it made me, it put me in my emotions, my feelings. But I love Jolene. She's like one of my favorite characters probably that I've read this year. And Brad from Brad Proctor, I believe he was the one that compared Jolene to Betty from the McDaniel, I think was the author's name, book. I can see it. But Jolene, it was like, such a sweet character. I'd want to be her friend. But yes, easy 5 stars. I'm going to read anything else that Meagan Lucas writes because phenomenal. And then the final book I finished was my weekend read, and that was Fear Street. Cheerleaders, the first evil. I liked it. I gave it 5 stars. But if you want to know more of my thoughts on it, just watch my vlog whenever I post it. But I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was a surprise. But yes, I finished this in like 2 days. I could have finished it faster, but life. So yeah, those are all the books I finished this week. So my goals of what I want to read this week is I want to continue reading Nightmare Yearnings, hopefully finish it, by Erik Raglin, the short story collection. I also want to continue with Double Vision. I read a decent, I mean, it's not decent, it's still like towards the beginning. But I got to the second part 2 of Double Vision by Hamelin Bird, and it's picked up. There's some craziness happening. I'm like, holy crap, it was intense. Where I just got done reading. Right now I'm in the son's perspective, but loving it. I actually started listening to People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I'm not too far into it, and it's super cute so far. It's not bad. I want to continue with Darkest Hours by Mike Thorn, short story collection. And I also have the audiobook arc of Written in Bone, Hidden Stories, and What We Leave Behind by Sue Black. I haven't picked that up in a while. I should finish that. And then I'm going to finish The Paradox Twins by Joshua Chaplinsky. I have to finish it. I keep saying that, but it's like, I've been reading it since forever. And then I got a couple books from Half Price Books. I got 2 kid books for my son, and then I got Choke, the name I can never pronounce. This is part of the Spine Breakers book read. I think it's for this month. I don't know, but I got it. It was cheap. This was on sale. It was a discount book, but it's The Snowman by Joe Nesbo. Thick. It's a thick one. It's a thriller. I think it's like a police mystery thing. I don't know. And then I saw this and it looked good. George and Lizzie. But it looked interesting. And then I'm sure my next weekly wrap up, I'm going to have a lot of books to show you that I'm going to haul. I did a couple, I ordered books from a couple of 4th of July sales that I got to get. I think there was like 11 of them or something. But, and I also bought 2 books, other books. I need to stop myself. But everyone's been posting all the books that they got on from that sale, and I haven't gotten mine yet. It's driving me crazy. I just want them to get here so I can enjoy them and take pictures and then show everyone and then put it on my shelf and then not read them for 5 years. Like, just give that to me. I'm being stupid. Okay. That is all. Those are my, that's it. That's all. I need to just finish this. I hope you had a good week and weekend. So the shining stickers that I ordered have come in, but they're huge and I didn't want them to be this big. I didn't know they were going to be this big, but look how big these things are. They're huge. So I'll put these up, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of how big they are, but I'm going to redesign this and do a smaller version and then order some and then put them up, because this is like, what? This is massive. It's almost the size of a book, I feel. So yeah, I do have stickers. They are up, and I have the design for Candyman in my head for a sticker and bookmarks, so I just need to do it. And I have like a couple other commission work that I need to get done, so yay. But that's it. That is my weekly wrap up. I hope everyone is doing well. Hope you're staying safe, and I will talk to you later.